There was a topic bar that caused me to stop, walk into my desk today on ESPN on their Get Up program, where it's like, has Belichick lost a step? Brockman is sitting here, frequently. You believe that Bill is coaching for his job this year?
Coaching for his job. I think Bob Kraft has made that clear.
What do you think, Albert? Is that really the case in New England?
I mean, I think this is a critical year for the organization, and I don't know whether or not Bob Kraft would have the stomach to press the button on that and to actually fire Bill Belichick. But I think it's pretty clear. Like, just hearing those two guys talk, they're not lockstep the way they used to be. You know what I mean? Like, and you sort of, it almost felt like to a degree there were salvos going back and forth. That was a bomb that Robert Kraft dropped on Lamar Jackson. And he put that on the record, and that left that at Bill's feet. And then Bill basically saying, like, check my resume, when he's asked why fans should be optimistic about 2023, despite the fact they're coming off like by far the worst 4-year stretch of his almost 2.5 decades in New England. You can kind of see like a little bit of the disconnect there. And this is a critical year too, because they've missed the playoffs in 2 of the last 3 years. They've had under 500 records the last 2 of the last 3 years. That's the first time, I believe that might be the first time that's happened in Kraft's ownership, since he bought the team. And then on top of that, you're talking about having a major decision with your quarterback coming after this year, in that they'll at the very least have to make a decision on Mac Jones' 5th-year option after this year, presuming Mac Jones is the quarterback in 2023. And so, this is shaping up as, a pretty massive year for the franchise in general, and as for the direction of the franchise. And if it doesn't go the way that Bill Belichick's planning for it to go, you certainly could see where bigger questions are going to be asked. Now, again, I don't know whether or not, Robert would have the stomach to fire the greatest coach in the history of the game. But it certainly feels like things are not close to being in the same place they were 5 years ago.
Especially since, if we're, on the Lamar subject with the Patriots, Brady was there for a hometown discount, season after hometown discount season. We looked it up, the number of millions that Brady made in his tenure with the Patriots
about
was
$220.
Yeah, and it would maybe cost that much in guaranteed dollars to land Lamar Jackson. It doesn't strike me as Kraft would ever want to cut a check for a single player of that size, regardless of the position. It just doesn't seem to make sense organizationally, regardless of what Meek Mill may have delivered a message to or for Albert.
Here's the issue, though, Rich. When I look at it, it sort of feels like the Patriots are built like a Tom Brady Patriot team would be built. You know what I mean? Where they didn't need to be outstanding in every spot when Brady was the quarterback. Brady would come in and kind of save the day with some things. You know what I mean? So that's why you didn't need to have Randy Moss on every team Brady played for. As long as you were balanced and you could send 5 guys into the route, trust those 5 guys, and have 5 competent linemen in front of the quarterback, Brady would sort of figure out the rest. And, in the years they were better in those spots, then Brady would elevate and the teams would be incredible, And now it feels like they've got good skill position players. Do they have somebody who, when they break the huddle, the defensive coordinator is going to be sweating bullets over? Probably not, right? And I would say one, if not both of their tackle positions are still an issue going into the draft. So, it kind of feels like a team is built for Tom Brady to come in and save the day. They don't have Brady anymore. And so what would be one way where you could create something on your offense that, would change the dynamic? Lamar Jackson would be one way to do it. If you're talking about breaking the huddle and having a guy that the defensive coordinators have nightmares over, that would be one way to do it, is to make that guy the quarterback, But, yeah, I think it's something that would be outside the box of what they've done from a financial standpoint. Then again, if you want to look at the other side of it, and I'll bring up the Moss example again, if you look at why Bill Belichick went and got Randy Moss, why he signed Tim Tebow, that at one point, and why he's held Lawrence Taylor in the highest regard, there are so many cases where there's a unique player who brings something different to the table. that can make the Patriots more difficult to prepare for, and that can give Bill an edge over other coaches, and not just on sheer talent, but because he's bringing in somebody who just changes the dynamic completely. And in that way, Lamar Jackson would very much fit the bill. I don't think they're going to do it, but I do think there's reason to believe that Bill Belichick would be intrigued by the idea.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.